Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Slappin Kpop podcast. And today, I'm here, Sammy, and I have Lucas.
Hello.
Kayla.
Hello.
And Dan.
Hello.
And today, we're going to talk about some of our favorite boy group debuts of 2020. Because 2020 has been really good for boy group debuts.
Yay.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We love them.
And also, these are not all of the boy groups that debuted in 2020, because that would have taken
forever. There's too many.
More hours than we can put into this right now. But we just chose 8 of our favorites, 8 of the most notable debuts, and we're going to go through them now in debut order, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
In debut.
Okay.
Okay.
Woo woo.
So the first group we're going to talk about is DKB. Kayla?
Yes. So DKB, short for dark brown eyes, which okay.
Questionable.
I don't know how English works.
I don't think so. This is evident in both their name and their fandom name, but I don't think Brave Entertainment knows how acronyms work. But
I don't think K-pop knows how acronyms
fine.
work. If anyone wants to
will
look up the
testify to
acronym for VIX and
Nope.
Teen Top and
Bandit.
and Bandit, if anyone wants.
Oh,
I don't think K-pop knows how acronyms work.
nope, it's fine.
It's fine. It's a cool name.
So DKB debuted on February 13th. They're under Brave Entertainment, and they have 9 members. And their fandom name is BB, which supposedly stands for DKB's bestie. Again, with the acronyms.
Which again, words. That's how English works, apparently.
That's how it works. And their debut song was Sorry Mama, which was a mini album, I think. And then they did their second, or I guess their first. Is it their second comeback or is it their first comeback?
No, it's their first,
comeback.
No, it's their first.
Debut.
It's a debut, and then it's the first comeback.
Okay, first comeback was on May 25th, and that was with the title track "Still," which I put on our Quarter 2 podcast because I enjoy that song.
Yeah, we talked about "Still." We love that song.
It's a good song.
And I think I'm the only one that liked "Sorry Mama" because I really enjoyed that song.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. It was a little aggressive for a debut. I thought it was a little like over their heads, but it was still like enjoyable. I didn't hate it.
I almost like how aggressive it is because it's it's aggressive in a way that I think that they can pull off.
We
where
already
it's not
know
aggressive
that I do not enjoy the aggressive songs.
Yeah.
No,
it's just not your vibe, which is fine.
Yeah.
When we did the rating, I gave it a 4 out of 10. Kayla gave it a 2 out of 10.
Yep.
And I think I hold by that
Sammy
number.
gave it an 8, yeah.
Sammy gave it an 8, and she was the
10.
only person.
I like that song a lot. Mm-hmm. I think that song is really.
I will say that I did listen to it. I did listen to it right before we recorded, and I think it's better than I remember it being. But I still I don't think I'm gonna listen to it regularly.
The other thing I want to point out about DKB is that one of their positions is acrobatic, and I think that is the greatest K-pop position ever made.
Flippers, yes.
Get rid of main visual center. Who cares? Acrobatic. We need an acrobat in every K-pop group now.
Yes. D1.
I want that to be the new
one
rapper.
Of our resident
D1,
black flippers.
Resident black flippers.
Mm-hmm.
It's D1 and who's the other guy? I forget his name. Oh no. Oh, Tio. Yeah.
Tio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tio and D1 holding it down.
We love them. We stand.
Yep. We stand only for the backflips.
Yeah,
and
Jackson,
also for the music.
Jackson Mark of GOT7 paved the way.
I enjoy their songs a lot.
I enjoyed it. And I also like their mini albums. I think they're really... They're good. I think that they're going for that more, hip-hop oriented...
Yeah.
More aggressive sounding boy group.
You know what this is just a thought I just had right now, is they kind of a little bit remind me of 24K.
A little bit.
A little bit.
And we mean that as much as people will, I know a lot of people don't like 24K. Me and Kayla really enjoy 24K. We really like 24K, so this is entirely a compliment. We love 24K, and yes, they do sound...
Because putting Sorry Mama and Still
style
next to each other, and then, looking at Only You by 24K, and then, their other, regular songs, that's, sort of...
It's that kind of, aggressiveness in their delivery is very 24K, and
then
I
listening
do think
to
that,
their
we have a
B-sides,
24K...
there, yeah.
Yeah, we have a hole for that kind of boy group right now, and I think that they could fill that really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is, I know we're talking about debut groups, but like they're kind of. I think maybe it's like 2-4K definitely was a group that filled that void, and I definitely feel like I get that vibe from like certain comebacks of different groups. But yeah, I think ATEEZ kind of fills that group sometimes, or like there's some groups that kind of can do that sound, but I would really enjoy like a group that'll just like, oh yes, I can go to this place to this like album and I can get that sound when I need it.
You'll
and it's
get
like
the bangers of like bangers.
Like the full bwop bwop, like yes, I want this right now. Just full on hard heavy. Yeah. There's definitely a time and place, and I think they do it really well. So
And I think that like a lot of groups, when they do it, it's sort of like this, it's a one comeback type of thing, and it only works about 50% of the time.
Yeah,
because it's a very particular style. And I think that DKB, at least in their first 2 comebacks, I can't say much for what they're gonna do next, they fit it really well, and I want to see them like evolve that style.
Yeah,
we
really like them.
I do. I like them a lot. I am really looking forward to the type of music they're gonna release.
And also, like, I really like their dancing. I
think
their
they're very talented.
Good.
Yeah,
like,
they have backflips. They have backflips.
That's kind of their selling point.
It's not only the
backflips.
It's not only the backflips.
It's not the only thing. Even taking
they have
away
front
the
flips. They have front flips.
Whoa, diversity.
They have side flips.
I think we call those cartwheels.
Yeah, that's a cartwheel.
It is. They have cartwheels.
Keep that in. Keep all of that in.
Moving along.
Moving along.
Sammy, what is the next group we're talking about?
So the next group we're talking about is MCND, a 5-member group from Top Media. And they debuted on January 2nd of 2020 with a pre-debut single called Top Gang. And then their official debut was on February 27th with Ice Age. And they have had another comeback after that with Spring on April 9th, which is a digital single. And MCND is not an acronym that I could find of anything. Oh, wait, no, it is. It is an acronym. It stands for Music Creates New Dream. Which is not a sentence,
it's not
but
bad.
Does make sense.
It's not bad.
It's not the worst K-pop acronym on the planet.
It's not
as someone who is dyslexic, I just see McDonald's every
see,
time
I see M Countdown every time I see it.
I do see M Countdown. My brain is now trained to see those letters together, and it's like, oh, this is an M Countdown stage? Yeah.
Wait, no, the D and the N are the wrong way. It's MCND. And it's not McDonald's, Dan. You're wrong.
I'm sorry, but that's all I see.
Again, I will say
it's okay because I like McDonald's and I like these guys.
Look, at least the letters correlate to the word.
Mm-hmm. That's as much as
I can ask for.
That's better than the DKB acronym. So.
Exactly. So, and their fandom name is Gem, which I think is a cute fandom name.
Oh,
I like it.
Isn't MCND is also having a comeback pretty soon?
Yeah, they're having a comeback. Yeah, they've been teasing their comeback.
Earth Age on August 20th.
Oh,
yep,
my
August
gosh.
20th.
That means we have to release this before August 20th, right?
It should.
It should. I think so.
If not, sorry, we recorded this before August 20th. So if it's already out, I probably liked it. I like MCND. I probably liked it. They probably didn't like it.
Yeah.
Hey.
I like Top Gang a lot the first time I heard, and then I heard Ice Age and I didn't like it.
Exactly. So like I like both Top Gang and Ice Age.
I heard Top Gang didn't like it, heard Ice Age and liked it. So Dan and I are good friends.
I dislike both of them because it's that
aggressive.
Okay. That's that really aggressive sound that I don't like.
Really, again,
the perfect permutation.
Have the like true spectrum of thoughts about MCND, which is one of the more controversial groups that we put on this list because I really like MCND. I loved Ice Age.
I liked Ice Age.
I almost talked about Ice Age up until like the last minute for quarter 2. So like I enjoy their music. I think that they also, at least with Spring, I don't know if they're gonna do that aggressive sound the whole time because Spring is different.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know what their sound is a little bit less defined than DKB's is right now, but then all of these groups have no defined sound yet. They're babies.
Exactly. Yeah, it's hard to tell, really, what type of, like, music sound they're gonna have, because they either have, like, 1 or 2 songs, and there's not a lot you can really go off of that yet. Mm-hmm. I'd also like to mention how every time we see MCND and DKB, it always feels like MCND should have more members, and then DKB should have less members.
I always feel like they need to, like, weird. Average out. Like, yeah. I always feel like MCND should have, like, 7.
Like, 5 members is so small for a K-pop group these days.
And it's... The thing is, it's not the smallest. There's a lot of 5-member groups out there. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact of, like, every time I look at them and in their music videos, the sound of this group feels like it should be made by more people. Mm-hmm. Mm. It's a lot, and I just feel like it's like, oh no, there should be, like, 7 of them.
Yeah.
There's not, but I feel like there's, like, this feels like a 7-member group. Like, you know how some K-pop groups, they, like, have a certain sound? This feels like a bigger group.
Yeah, it really does. Like, I feel like every time I see their music video or stuff, I was like, are you sure there's only 5 members in this group?
Are you sure someone's not hiding in the back? Yeah. I also want to point out that one of their members is called Castle J.
That's top 10 K-pop like stage K-pop names. Stage names of all time.
And they have a
it's so
stage
good.
Names
BIC.
This year.
BIC, like the lighter.
A Bic pen. I went to Bic pens.
Oh. And they have a win.
A win.
Yep.
Win. And he is small. He is small, and I love him.
Oh, he's so sweet. We feel like we can fall in love with the members of MCND because they're just sweet boys.
They're so young. Babies.
They're very young.
Most of these groups...
It's 1999 to 2004 is the range for MCND, and that's about... It's roughly the same range for all of these groups. It's like 1999
There's one notable
to, like,
exception
for one notable group, exception.
But everyone else is a baby.
We'll get to the notable exception who are just old men.
Old men, it's fine.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
It's my turn. Mm-hmm. So, as the person who is now the expert, aka the
resident 2 expert.
Resident 2 expert.
As the person who is the resident 2 expert, it is of course my job to talk about the best group out of all of these, bar none.
In your opinion.
Wrong.
We'll rank. We've come up with a collective ranking of all these groups at the end.
It's not like the rest of us hate them. Like, it's right.
No, the rest of us think they're the second best debut.
Wrong.
Okay.
So this is 2. Their acronym, because it is an acronym, TOO, is an acronym for 10 Oriented Orchestra.
Which is
again,
they're
why
not a band.
They're not an orchestra.
They don't play instruments.
Not an orchestra.
Also,
I'm an orchestra.
Pretty positive it was different in the past, and that it was like not that.
So
and
you
then
think
it
this
changed.
is like an acronym?
They pulled
where
an
it's
SF9.
like you had the and
they pulled an
SF9
where the SF9
well,
changed
didn't they
their
have more
acronym.
members and they kicked someone?
Yeah, they did have 11 members, and no, they had 10 and they replaced
but then they kicked one and replaced one.
So it was always 10.
Yeah.
It was always 10. They replaced one. I'm pretty sure that was not at debut what they were called, but I don't know. Never mind. Anyway, they were formed through the survival show World Class, the Mnet show, and so that's, if you're wondering, hey, were these guys on anything before? Nope, that was their first thing. They just they were all that was all of their first survival shows, so they were all, brand new.
Because they're actual very small, adorable children.
Yeah, they are all small, adorable children.
Anything else.
They've done absolutely nothing.
They're babies.
Only 3 of them were actual trainees beforehand, I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
they're
babies. Most of them were literally just nobodies, and then just decided to, hey, let me just go on to this
horrible
TV show.
Survival show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Donggon was a C9 trainee. Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on then.
So I think only one. Oh no, never mind. Jerome was a Cube cube trainee.
Somehow that makes like perfect sense that Jerome is a cube trainee.
That's
Oddly,
pretty funny.
That makes a lot of sense.
Jerome being from Cube is pretty funny. So 2 debuted on April 1st, not a joke, with Magnolia. And then they had their first comeback on July 15th with Count 1 2. And I'm going to be honest, I think it is the greatest storyline of this podcast.
Is our turnaround
our 180 we did on 2.
Going,
our 180 we did on 2.
For context, we were determined to start this podcast by recording a
Road
to Kingdom intro and like talking about Road to Kingdom, and we kind of decided, okay, well, we have to introduce all of these groups in like an intro
and
episode.
Like me
and
and Sammi are very into like a lot of the boy groups that were going to be on
the
show.
It was 7 groups, so I took 3. Kayla took 3 that we had already had basic knowledge about,
and then 2 was brand new,
hadn't debuted yet. So we were like, Lucas, you have to do 2 because we're already
and I was not happy about it. I wasn't happy about it because in my head 2 was just an Mnet plant and they were going to be bad and I was going to hate them. But then
I think somehow we had all convinced ourselves that was exactly what was happening.
What we thought was going to happen.
That was what was happening. They were going to be bad.
Magnolia,
we were going to. Then Magnolia came out. Magnolia was okay. It was like not great.
But like we weren't totally convinced. We were still
but
like.
But then the turning point for me, because I heard Magnolia and was like, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's a debut. These kids have literally done nothing, so it's like, they don't have experience. So I was like gonna excuse it, but then on that album is a cover of "You Can't Hurry Love" by originally The Sopranos.
Collins.
And then Phil Collins.
Also Phil Collins.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the Phil Collins version.
More notably,
yeah, they're doing the Phil Collins version, but the original song is The Sopranos. And I was like, wait, this is the greatest K-pop crossover of all time. How is there a Phil Collins K-pop crossover? I was like, this is insane. It's amazing.
The album
it's so good.
And they're like, all right, Magnolia, okay.
You Can't Hurry Love.
Okay. And then at the end, You Can't Hurry Love. And I'm just like,
what
is... And then I hear it, and I'm like,
it's like,
nope,
wait, that's just the Phil
Collins.
That's just the Phil Collins song. Which made me instantly be like, wait, these boys are onto something.
It's amazing.
There's potential here. And then we watched Road to Kingdom and found out that they're the softest, most pure really humans I've ever seen.
Two happened when they walked into Road to Kingdom, and they are absolute babies and don't know what to do.
They're like
and
weeping,
they're being so polite
just shaking
with
fear.
What do we do here?
Boys on that show.
And they're like, when do we sit down? We can't sit down ever. We just have to stand and respect everybody the entire show. We're not allowed to sit down. And then Jang Joon is like, no, sit down.
Please sit down.
And we're like,
and I think the turnaround with 2 was us falling in love with the members of 2. Because I think even to now, we like Magnolia. We've come around on Magnolia mainly because of the members of 2. But overall, the song is still not...
It's not the greatest.
I think the Road to Kingdom version is
Road to Kingdom version they did is a lot better. They also did a really good Rising Sun cover on Road to Kingdom.
That Rising Sun
was
good.
That was the turning. That was the Slappin moment for me.
Like Rising Sun has been covered by a lot of people. That might be one of my favorite covers of that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Count 1 2.
The comeback. Dude.
You were excited.
He's really excited.
I was like, 2's coming back. It looks cute. It looks nice. I feel like this is going to be a better look for them.
This concept is better for them.
Oh my god.
It's really cute. They fit that so well.
They nailed it. They nailed it. I'm going to be talking about it on Q3, spoiler alert, because I cannot stop talking about this mini album. It is my favorite mini album of the year so far.
Oh my goodness.
That's a
no, it is my favorite mini album of the year so far.
Opinion. That is not shared by everyone else on this podcast. That is a Lucas opinion.
It is insane. It is literally banger after banger after banger, and I think the reason I love it so much...
I would describe that album
I don't think the word banger is how I describe that.
Count 1 2
is a banger.
It's banger is just the word
Bangers
that means
only.
I love it a lot and I just enjoy it with my whole heart. Because I think I love it so much just because I watched, Road to Kingdom and listened to Magnolia in their first album, and now I'm hearing them again, and I see so many people be like, oh my gosh, this group's grown so much over the 10 years that they've been around. Oh my God. And then it's like mini album 1, mini album 2, and you're just like, oh my God, they're so different. Like, you can just hear, like, A, some of them are finishing puberty, and that kind of helps.
Oh.
B, it's like,
babies.
just they're actual children, and I love them. They're all of my beautiful little baby brothers, and I want to hug them all and just keep them safe from the world of K-pop because it's too hard, and I just don't.
I would also like to tell a fun story that further illustrates the complete 180 that Lucas has done on 2. That when we were making our list for quarter 2,
oh yes,
we were debating whether or not we wanted to put any Road to Kingdom songs on there, and we were like, Lucas, if 2 makes a song, you have to take it for quarter 2. And so we have a script of our list where Lucas says, please God 2, don't make a song.
And yet here we are today.
Here we are.
Yep.
Me weeping my eyes out, crying about how
Resident
much I
2
love
expert.
The Resident 2 expert was
the Resident 2
joke.
lover.
It was
The
a
Resident 2
100% was a joke
joke
when we first made it, and now it's actually true.
And like you actually got somewhat like you were like you got like kind of mad when we made it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh God, this is the moniker I'm stuck with, and now you're like,
No, you love
now I own
embrace
all of
the
their
title.
albums, and I have a small photo card collection of their. I have a problem. I love them so much.
They're just sweet boys.
Jaehoon is my bias, if you're wondering, and JU is my bias record.
JU, I think, is my bias in general.
He's so good. He he has production credits on all of the songs. He actually does.
Really?
He does.
Ooh.
Yeah. He writes. I think he does lyrics and he does some production stuff. So
Aw.
he's like super talented, and he's like one of their best rappers. So I love him.
Yep.
But Jaehoon's vocals, oh my God, he's so good.
All right.
Time to
All
move
right.
on to
So,
the next group.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, this
is
is
TED Talk.
Lucas's TED Talk. Amazing.
It's a
And-
TEDx talk. It's not a real TED Talk. Sorry.
All right.
I don't think I could do a TED Talk about 2 and how
You
much I love
could.
them. I mean, I could, but I need a PowerPoint.
All right, Dan. Now you're
All
up.
right. After that, something. We're moving on. All right. Our next group, we have Cravity, a group under Starship Entertainment, and their name, it stands for either Center of Gravity, but also they decided to call it Creativity and Gravity. Sounds like they couldn't decide one, so they just decided to make them both, which is fine because I think it's a good name, other than the fact that anytime I look at it, it looks like Cavity. But that's okay.
It's pretty bad.
Dan, your
Dyslexia.
They are a
is
9-member
incredible.
group. They're a 9-member group, and their fandom name is Lovity, which is okay.
Boo.
I
That's
mean,
not great.
for fandom names
Okay,
that are all awful.
Did we mention
I-
two
can I-
standard
Love
groups?
I wanna-
is not a.
All right, can I say for like 30 seconds I thought it was an amazing fandom name
Until
because
you hear
I
it
did
said
not
out
know how to
loud?
pronounce it, and I thought it was Luvity, like luminescence, and I was like, whoa,
No.
it's like light,
Nope.
and then
Nope.
their name,
It's
but no,
Lovity.
it's just love.
Nope.
And I was like,
Yep.
oh,
Love,
because
but
in my
it's
head
spelled
I saw
stupid.
LU and thought it was pronounced Luvity, and I'm like, what does that mean? And I was
You're
like,
giving
whoa,
Starship too
like
much
lumi-
credit there.
No,
Yeah,
no,
luminescence.
no.
because
That
you're
is way
giving
too much
K-pop
credit.
far too much
given
credit.
Starship Entertainment.
I know. I just didn't know how to pronounce it, so I just was like, oh, let
You
me
came up with a
take this
cooler
way too
name
far.
in 2 seconds than this group has had.
So
So
I was
congrats.
Well, this is a group that has developed from the X1 disaster, 4 of which was produce members. 2 of the members, Jungmo and Woojin, didn't actually make it into the final group, but Minhee and Hyunjin did. And now they are a part of Cravity. And they debuted in April 14th with their title track, Break All the Rules.
And I think they're having a comeback soon.
I think they are too.
Pretty
Yeah.
soon.
They are probably due, yeah.
Oh, it's August 24th.
Coming
August
to
24th.
a galaxy near you.
August 24th.
So Cravity is having a comeback on August 24th, so I guess support that.
I guess support that.
I guess support that if you want to. I'm not your mother. I cannot force you to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They also did a B-side music video, Cloud 9, which I have seen.
Which they also did promote. So
which they did promote.
Mm-hmm.
So they have one album, but
they've essentially been active since they debuted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never stopped being active, because I think after Break All the Rules, which was a long promotion cycle.
Making music videos galore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we all think about Cravity?
Yep.
I should probably talk first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't hate them. I thought Break All the Rules was a little underwhelming, especially since Starship's pretty good. Monsta X is like okay. We have mixed opinions of Monsta X in this
overall
in this podcast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We have like they've had a long story path.
We do not
in there,
need to talk about that today.
We don't need to talk about that. But then we were like, okay, Starship, you're starting a new boy group. Let's see what you can do.
And the thing with Starship is that we also love a lot of Starship's groups. Like,
yeah,
definitely.
I think as people may have started to realize, I am a massive fan of Sistar, and also we really like
Me and
Boyfriend.
Sammy love
I'm a small fan
yeah.
of Sistar, guys. If you haven't
Boyfriend
noticed,
Boyfriend.
And Boyfriend, we love
Boyfriend was really good,
and it's tragic.
Yeah, Boyfriend's story is tragic, guys.
Yeah. And so we were like, okay, new Starship group, let's see if they can, start fresh. They have really, really good talent, people who literally made it into X1.
They're talented overall, and I'm excited to see where this goes. But for right now, we only have Break All the Rules, and this group might actually have the least amount of music. We only have the debut song to go off of, and K-pop debut songs are a mixed bag. Some of the best K-pop groups out right now have terrible debut songs.
Yeah,
some of the best, some K-pop groups that we cannot stand have amazing debut songs.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So it's like debuts are a mixed bag because the group has no idea what they're gonna do with them. So, like they have no idea what kind of group they want to be yet, or what they're good at.
It's a very young group. They're I think their oldest member is 99. Yeah. So they are very young and they have a long way to go. I think we just thought that Break All the Rules. Yeah, they have a big label behind them. They have money behind them.
Yeah.
They have room
I think that they're going to grow obviously and actually find what their sound is and figure out what they want to really focus on. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see because Cloud 9 was very different than Break All the Rules.
I like Cloud 9 a lot. After listening to the whole mini album, so Break All the Rules was like not doing it for me. I think it was like what I think of like really generic like K-pop songs.
Yeah,
like
it
that's
felt
just
a little,
that's
like,
it.
It was like your
It felt very safe.
It's very
it felt
generic.
safe.
When I think of a
There's
K-pop
like
debut song for a boy group, like this would be the definition of all of the things that need to be done.
It is like just so generic K-pop music video song everything,
and it's not done badly.
It's not actively bad, but it's just not. No. It doesn't stand out in any way. There's nothing like.
The thing is, like, I can see the talent behind it. They just weren't given anything to show their talent. The song itself is the problem.
And the thing that I think stands out from,
and I like a lot of their They're like a couple of their B-sides are pretty good. Like Cloud 9 was one of the B-sides I enjoyed a lot, and then there's other B-sides on there that I like a lot. So I think they just need to have more music and be given the opportunity to have like more different and interesting styles of music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The thing that stands out to me, I think, is that we know the talent that these members have because literally. The thing is, I think I agree with you where you said like
finale,
that,
and 2 of them made it into X. So
yeah.
Well, no, you said that they just don't have a place to show their talents. Yeah, because 2 of the members were literally in Flash, which was probably one of my favorite K-pop debuts in a really long time. And it was like a song that I really, really liked, and I'm obviously sad X1 is gone. And it's like they were able to show their talent with that song, and it's like, oh, they have all of this talent. They have Starship. They have all of the tools to like really, really shine. And it was just, I think we just expected more, and we were hoping that we could get like a really exciting debut. and it just kind of felt a little bit, a little all over the place. And it's like, I'm just more disappointed, I think, than like,
I also think it's
super excited.
It's a part of them. They probably had a lot of like really big expectations because they were from X1 and Produce X, that people had like higher expectations for how good it was going to be. And
it's also the fact of like, this is the next Starship group. Like it's
Starship is a big company now.
Expectations upon expectations. And I think
I have to say first, just before, is that for us, we may not have liked it, but in terms of the world, I think they're the more pop very well for a new group.
They did very in terms of popularity, they might be maybe the second most popular.
I think they're the second best debuted group this year.
Yeah.
Probably. Definitely of the ones we're talking about, they're the second best. Yeah,
of all the ones we're talking about, and I think it just generally they might be like the second most popular debut group. So again, they have an audience. Maybe it's not us, who are a bunch of jaded old K-pop fans.
Yep.
But like the youth seems to like them.
So old.
Moving on. So still speaking about X1, we're going to talk about.
Oh no.
We're going to talk HND. The thing with HND is kind of a group. They're kind of a group, and they're kind of not a group anymore. Yeah, so
it's very confusing.
It's very weird. So HND consists of Hangyul and Dohyun and
Dohyun.
Dohyun. I can't speak. Hangyul and Dohyun. They are both former X1 members, so they both did produce X101 and debuted in X1, and then X1 happened.
And then it died real fast.
And then they died. And then they debuted under MBK Entertainment as a duo on April 21st, and with their song, they sort of did like a double promotion.
They had a dual title track,
Yeah, dual title track. And so Soulmate is their debut song, and they're apparently going to re-debut in an 8-member group in the fall. I don't know what's happening with that.
That may or may not actually happen by the end of the year. Who actually knows?
Who knows what'll happen? I feel like everything is just a weird state of limbo this year.
Oh, yeah.
X1 is the biggest state of limbo, I think.
X1's dead. That's not a limbo.
Oh, the X1.
Post-X1.
Yeah.
The X1 universe.
Yeah.
The remnants of
X1.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, HND. I enjoyed their stuff.
I like their songs a lot more than I expected to.
Yeah, I enjoyed them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that both of them are very talented. Obviously they got into X1, but I think that both of them are extremely talented, and they make a good duo. They work well off each other.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. I love Unfamiliar. I'll just point that out. Unfamiliar is a gorgeous song.
That's a good song.
I think Soul for me is maybe like my favorite of I listen to Soul a lot, and I think it's a really good song, and I also think Goodnight's really cute. I think that they understood what they're good at and just sort of found their little niche, and I guess maybe that they just didn't gain the popularity that they wanted these members to get.
I think so.
Or that maybe they were still like planning the group, and they were like, well, X1 finished before we thought they would, so let's just put them out, have them do something while we get everyone else ready.
I also think that MBK probably realized that they would be more profitable in a full group rather than a duo, because they full groups tend to just do better.
Duos don't do well in K-pop for some reason.
Yeah, I imagine their plan was just to they made it into X1, X1 promotes, as soon as X1 finishes, re-debut them in their own full group,
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like, oh wait, oh no.
Scramble.
We gotta get them ready.
Trainees, you're done.
Oh no, you're back. Because wasn't X1 supposed to be 5 years?
It was 2.5. X1 exclusive, 2.5 non-exclusive, so they could have debuted in other groups after that.
So, I think that a lot of these companies thought that they had 2.5 years to get the rest of the group ready, and turns out
Willow Entertainment's scrambling to get the group together right now.
Scramble. Figure it out. Throw them in. So, overall, I don't think there's much to say about HND, because, again, they're a duo.
Mm-hmm. And also because
see.
they
we
only
really
have
like them, and I'm excited for this group. They're both talented.
I'm excited for to see what they end up doing with them, with this 8-member boy group that may or may not happen this year. But I'm excited when that does happen.
This year, next year, eventually, who knows?
All right.
Kayla.
All right.
Kayla.
So
the best debut of the year.
Best
big
debut
surprise.
yeah, I can agree.
Big surprise. We're gonna talk about Lucy again. This is like the
For
third
the third
time this year we've talked about Lucy,
and not the last, because we're also talking about them in quarter 3.
Oh, they're gonna be on quarter 3.
Yes.
So a lot of the stuff I'm gonna say is gonna be in the entire episode that we have about Lucy, but I'll just say it again anyway.
By the way, guys, go watch our full Lucy episode.
We've got a full 30-minute episode
Lucy
on
for
Lucy
a half hour.
if you cannot get enough of Lucy just like the rest of us. But so Lucy is a 4-membered band that debuted under Mystic Entertainment on May 9th. And they were originally formed through the JTBC show.
Acronym.
Just letters.
They were formed on the show Super Band, where they came in second place on that show to another band called Happy Pola, also a very good band. They have a celloist, which I think is cool. They had to switch out their main vocal because he went back to his original band after the show, but then they got a new main vocal. They all went to Mystic Entertainment, and then they debuted on May 9th with Flowering, which is one of our favorite songs that exist, maybe one of the best debut
Flowering
songs ever.
is one of the best K-pop songs ever made.
Mm-hmm.
It's that good.
It's
very
fantastic.
good.
It's incredible.
It's up there.
Ugh.
You
Almost
can listen
as
to it on
good.
repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Almost
no,
as good as
yeah.
Choose Cover as You Can't Hurry Along.
Okay. Sure.
Almost as good.
Lucas.
All right.
Almost as good.
Almost. Okay.
And then most recently...
That's sarcasm.
No.
That's sarcasm.
Most recently, they had a comeback on August 13th with their first mini album, their title track called Jogging, which is also amazing, and the rest of that album is fantastic.
Incredible.
Album.
And we will talk about it in quarter 3.
Incredible.
It is gonna go in quarter 3.
Everything about this is so good.
We have all purchased the album.
This is
We've
the
all
first
purchased
album
Is this the only
that all
album
four of
I
us are
think
gonna
of
own.
every group that we're talking about that we own?
Maria
this is
doesn't
the only
buy
album in
albums,
general
so-
that all four of
that
us
we
are ever
all
gonna
of us
own.
own. Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think that. Yeah,
You
it
did-
might
did
be
you
the
buy
only
Wavy?
one. I did
didn't
not
buy
because I
Wavy
saw the
yet either.
packaging and
Oh.
then I refused. On,
Only Sammy and I bought 17.
All three
Oh,
of
did
us-
you buy
the
Golden
only
Child?
album.
All three
No.
of us have Golden
No,
Child,
he
but
doesn't
Dan
own
doesn't
Golden
have
Child.
Golden Child.
No.
Do
Did
any
you
of
buy
us
BTS?
own BTS?
No, I don't own BTS.
Oh.
I
Oh
can't.
my
I
God.
have. Dude, my shelf will not allow these.
I didn't buy BTS
Oh, yeah.
purely because it's too big.
Yeah, that's what I
And
did.
yet you
But you
have
own
Golden,
Golden
Child.
Child.
It's
I
smaller
have
than
Golden
Golden
Child.
Child.
It's fine.
It's
Golden Child's the
smaller
same
than
size.
Golden- No, it's smaller.
Yeah.
It's
so
smaller.
anyway, it is the
No, it's
only
not.
album that we will all own shortly
Yes.
as soon as Music Plaza decides to deliver.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
But like we absolutely
I love them.
adore
I love
Lucy
that they have
in
a
every way.
violinist. I think it's going to be apparent pretty soon that like if there's like orchestra, like violins and anything, like that's my aesthetic. Like I love it. It's
That's
my
Kayla's
favorite thing.
aesthetic. I think that's all of our aesthetic. We love a good orchestra.
I think it's a band
Orchestra,
as well.
yeah.
Bands are
And
We
good.
do
also, we
also
are
love
like
bands.
we love the
We
bands.
love bands
Every
here.
one of us, like we each have a band. We
Mhm.
share Lucy. We always
We
like
do
to say
share
we
them.
each have a band, and then we share. We
And
share
then,
custody
and then we
of Lucy.
specifically all
Share
share a
custody.
bias of Ye-chan, the violinist of Lucy.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
no, the Yechan of the violinist of Lucy.
He's
is
our
just
shared bias.
Our, like we,
Bias
favorite
wrecker,
human.
bias.
he's collectively our bias.
Yes, he's the
All of
collective
us.
bias
He's
here.
the collective bias. So much so that we each had to pick another bias.
Yeah, it's like we all get to
Yes.
stand Ye-chan and then everyone pick another member.
Exactly.
Perfect.
But like, it's not even just him. All the other members are great.
It's
They have
the
a
new
drummer that
vocalist
is
is
also
special.
that
Oh
also
my
sings.
God.
He's so good.
Is-
So good.
And the album
Sung up.
it goes in so many different directions as well. This is,
It does.
I mean,
They like have a song.
it literally just came out and it's already my most played of all the groups that we have here.
They have a song
it-
with rapping on this album, and I'm like, I
Yes,
wasn't expecting
it's-
that to happen.
It's so
I didn't think-
diverse. It
yeah.
goes through so many moods, and that's what I was super excited for. That's what we were talking about in our Lucy episode, that they could literally go in any direction and it could be a success.
And
And
they did.
definitely
did.
prove that it is very. We love it. And like we love everything about it.
Go in any direction and have it great. Oh, it's so good. I love Lucy. Stan Lucy, guys. If you haven't already, you're wrong.
We don't say that often,
but we will always
the only
say
group
Stan
I think
Lucy.
I could
we just
collectively say that we
stand.
stand.
What more can we say about Lucy other than that we just love everything about them?
They're perfect.
They're amazing.
Go listen to our 40-minute episode about them.
Yeah. And then also quarter 3, whenever that comes out, where we'll go on another 20 minutes about them.
Yeah.
And then
how many episodes are we going to talk about Lucy
album.
this year?
All of them, because they deserve it. They're just everything we love. Orchestras, bands, great music, vocals for days, aesthetic.
Cheekbones.
They're almost all
bassists with nice cheekbones.
They have their bassist and their drummer are also vocals, and it's like
the drummer singing while playing is, I don't know if you know this, playing the drums and singing at the same time is physically impossible, but somehow Guangyo is apparently able to do this. I don't know what black magic and what
he is amazing.
As we said in our Lucy episode, he came in to super band not as a main vocal, not as a drummer. He picked up drumming on the show, and now he is the drummer. He knew how to drum
before as a hobby, and then just became a professional drummer. And I'm like, what is happening?
It's like, I'll just become the professional drummer for this brand new band.
Pick up the drums as a profession, and also live my life as a singer. And I'm like, amazing, incredible, iconic,
we stand
amazing.
Talent here.
Yes,
if you watch their stage, he's like literally just doing like the drumstick spins while he's playing and stuff, just because he can. Like, yes, I'm actually just a guitarist / vocalist. I don't really play the drums that much. Yeah. I was
we love
you've
Lucy
practiced
so much.
a lot for being not good at the drums, but
so
okay.
to give a little anecdote, me and Kayla, we were just so hooked on Lucy that in the beginning, right when they debuted, none of their videos for any of their behind-the-scenes stuff or any of their tours had subtitles. And I watched
all of their videos, and I was purely content watching them without subtitles.
I was purely happy. I was very happy. Yes. And then they came out with subtitles, and we watched them all over again to actually understand what they were saying. We were just invested. They're just adorably sweet, and like we said before, we made a reference to a group that was older, that was not a 1999 to 2004.
This is the group that are made of old men.
This is the group. Yep.
Their youngest is 97, which is
their youngest
old
is 97,
for K-pop
and
these days.
Yechan, the violinist, is 92, and he's their oldest.
Old men. We stand.
So they are older,
but living the dream.
Yep.
Living the dream.
They're amazing.
And still adorable.
Yeah, they look so young.
Yeah, they do not
look... Their main vocal looks like a child. And so when they first debuted, I went and looked up the ages because I was expecting them to be so young. And I'm like, he's older than me.
He's older than us. He's older than us.
I was like, dang, okay.
He looks so young.
He looks so young.
I think that's probably why I love his voice so much, because it is very mature and very full and know. He knows how to sing. He knows how to sing. He's because I think even of all of the other people we hear, it's they're good vocalists despite of their age, or with their age they're they have
into account as room to grow.
As room to grow. He is just a good singer. He is.
Well, the other thing is that all of them have had careers before. They are professionals in their craft, and this is just this band's debut. They've all been doing this for a while, and this is just what you get when you have professionals coming together and making a group, and they're just amazing from the beginning.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well done. All right.
They're
perfect.
Stan
Talent.
Stan Lucy.
All
right, Luke, take us away.
Okay. So the next group that we're going to be talking about is Elast. Elast is a 8-member group under E Entertainment. Their original name was E-Boys, spelled with a Z.
We just need to take a second to talk about how bad of a group name that would have been.
I am so happy that E-Boys spelled with a Z did not debut.
Especially given their sound, their current sound. And if they were just this and they were named E-Boys, it's like
if they had also debuted with this same song, with the song, with the same song, the same aesthetic, and called
but the name E-Boys. Like the contrast, like unbelievable.
That
would have been ironic in a cool way.
Sure,
very funny. Anyway, they debuted on June 9th with the song "Swear." And most of them are just, E Entertainment trainees, but 2 of them were actually on Produce X. It was Wonhyuk and Wonjun. Sorry. Wonhyuk got 33rd and Wonjun got 47th.
So neither of them made X1, but they did very well.
That's pretty good.
They did very well. Mm-hmm. They like upper half. So they weren't like, unnotable. They were definitely there. And okay, I think I'll talk about them first. I like Elast. The thing is, I love that they chose this concept for their debut, and I'm really excited about it. For those of you who haven't seen their video yet, it is literally like Victorian, like ethereal, like it's so aesthetic and unique. Is like
it's very much like an orchestral song, like it's got the violins and shit
so
going in the background.
Good. The thing, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Dan is gonna speak later, and I'm gonna agree with him. I'm gonna steal what you're gonna say, Dan. I'm sorry, but it has such a amazing aesthetic, and the pre-chorus and the verses have such good build-up, and the chorus just leaves a little bit to be desired, which is a little it's not as, because it has the strings, it has the orchestral, like
it has
behind it has the build up, and it has all the excitement that this could be an amazing song, and then it just kind of coasts in the chorus, and you just wish it could be a little bit more like there. If it had just that little bit more oomph, it would have been such an incredible debut. But I give them infinite props for debuting with such. It's not a risky concept, but it is such a unique concept.
It's
a breath of fresh air.
It's not what
it's a breath of fresh air.
None of this is
from a debut. Yeah.
Even
especially with the original name of E-Boys.
I mean, even like that, like even just generally in K-pop, this is not like a main title. Like this is a special stage. Like this is no one decides to do string and orchestra as just the
song.
Title track.
Yeah.
And a concept.
And the rest of their album is very much in like the same realm of like songs where it's like very beautiful and like very just like orchestral still, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I love that that's just their concept, and I
hope they continue with it.
I really hope.
Yeah, the thing is, I just don't hear that sound in K-pop.
If they come back with like an MCND style song, their next comeback, I'm gonna be so upset.
Somehow them and MCND switch concepts, and it's like they get the flowers and they get the super aggressive concept. Yeah.
I would say I'm excited for this potential that they have. I think that it needs more. It's kind of one of those. It's really hard to judge a group based off of one album and a mini at that, with one promoted song really. So we'll find out. But I think that if they can branch off of this concept but keep it to that same tone, I think I would really grow to like it a lot more. And I think that the debut has hope for it. I don't know how successful it will be because it is so different and unique when it comes to boy groups like this. It's not what you would call popular like these days.
Yeah, it's not the popular
about
sound.
The next group, we will see what is
popular sound.
The popular sound. So I don't know.
And the other thing is, I just realized it. Is there like a younger group, but they're not that young.
No.
They're 98 to 2002. So it's like they're younger, but they're not. They're definitely not the youngest here, and they're like
in the group.
Nope.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the youngest member is like 18. So it's like,
and I think that sound fits that.
Yeah,
age
that's
too.
a really good concept for them.
And they can grow up with that concept too. So it definitely is like a repeatable.
And I could see them doing a little bit more trap if they wanted, but they didn't need to. I don't think it would benefit.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Tone. So we'll see.
They've set expectations though, and I'm
they
really scared.
I think of all the groups, this is the one I think I just was like, I love, but I cannot judge it until I
want more music.
Every other
I want
group
a bigger
I can
sample
sort of
size.
see, but this one is hard.
Yeah, I definitely want a bigger sample size, and I'm cautious but excited. Yeah, I'm cautious but excited. I really, really hope that we get like an amazing comeback that's like fulfills exactly what I was hoping this kind of was, just better.
And what I am
like if they retry this just better, I would be so happy.
What I am nervous about, and not to bring this kind of energy into the world, is this like I'm nervous they're just gonna get buried.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of we're even talking about a lot of louder both musically and just with the amount of people talking.
Like they're coming from
they're also a small group from a small company.
That's like not known,
So I'm like, that's what I'm nervous about, but that's also why we're talking about them, because we want to bring recognition.
We like them a lot.
We do.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Dan, finish us off.
So the last group. Probably it is. It is the biggest group, and they literally just debuted. But that's the power of YG Entertainment with their new boy group Treasure. It's been a journey.
It's been a journey.
A journey is an understatement.
It's been a journey.
A journey is an understatement.
Man, it's been a journey.
But I'm actually surprised a song came out. To be honest,
I was convinced they were never going to debut. Honestly,
I would have bet money on it.
YG posted an image saying they are debuting tomorrow. I was like, that's fake. This is fake. No. They are not debuting tomorrow.
Until the song is out and we see the music video, everything is a lie.
I saw the music video and was like, that video might be too short. That might not be a music video. And then I started it and heard them singing, and I was like, okay, now
they have debuted.
Maybe. And then halfway through the song, I was like, okay, this is a debut.
It's like, we are done. This has happened. They are a group that exists in the world to be examined and to be loved.
By the world. Super successful in their first week. It's the power of good promotion and money backing behind it, plus a anticipation for this group for a long time.
There's so much hype. There is
so much hype. I loved it.
I think all around they have the least sample size.
They got two songs.
They have literally
three songs.
3.5.
Three
and a half.
3.5 if you count the solo.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they have the smallest sample size and they have the most success, but big
Can
three,
I go over
they also have all of Treasure.
Of this group, please?
They also have all of Treasure.
They do.
Alright. So we're gonna try and go through their
It is
journey.
Really such a long journey that this group has had.
Wait, Kayla, you actually watched Mix 9.
Yeah, so we need to start off. So Baggy Dam, which is maybe the most popular member of the group and well known, because he was on K-Pop Star 2 back in 2012 as a 9-year-old child. Came in second place.
Been in the YG dungeon since 2012 as a 9-year-old child.
Came in second place to Actong Musician, by the way.
So again, think about Actong Musician and think about there's like a little 9-year-old,
little tiny child came in second place. Baby. Been stuck in the YG dungeon since 2012.
Ever since.
Yep.
So next after that,
and then
Mix 9 happened, and as the resident Mix 9 expert that was
resident Mix 9
disaster
expert
of a show. But Hyunsuk and Jin were both on that show. Hyunsuk made the final group, but then that was canceled because YG sucks.
Because why the hell would YG do anything?
So after Mix 9 happened and then failed and got canceled,
because YG sucks.
YG sucks. They had YG Treasure Box, which was just the YG specific survival show for Treasure, and that ran from 2018 through January 2019. 7 members officially won the show in the format that the show was meant to be had,
because everything with YG comes in quotes.
We're supposed to, and so the 7 members who technically quote unquote won were Haruta, Yeodam, Jungwon, Junkyu, Jungwoo, Jaehyuk, and Hyunsuk. And they were all supposed to debut in the group called Treasure. But then afterwards, YG changed his mind because there was too many people on the show, and he made a second group called Magnum, called Yoonbin, with Yoonbin, Mashiho, Doyoung, Yoshi, Jihoon, and Asahi. They made a secondary group, and the two of the groups were supposed to promote separately but also together at the same time under Treasure 13.
This is the new version of XOM and XOK, apparently.
And like with like shades of like NCT in there as well, like who knows?
Who the hell knows?
And then Yoonbin left YG due to musical differences, and then YG once again changed his mind and decided we're just gonna put all 12 of them into one group. And so they decided to just put them all into one group called Treasure. And then that's how we got to the group.
Can I read what you wrote down in the script? Because Dan was laughing during Elast because apparently he read ahead, which I think is funny.
So I was supposed to introduce, so I was catching up on any hidden facts, and I read this line, and I'm like, I can't say this.
Then YG, who's apparently an indecisive little bitch, decided to debut a second group named Magnum.
This is the fun part of our script.
Can we also talk about how bad of a name Magnum is for a group?
That is...
Magnum is the worst K-pop name. I'm sorry, we talked about E-Boys. E-Boys is fine. Magnum?
Compares.
No.
Can we imagine E-Boys collaborating with Magnum?
Oh my god.
I don't want to. I don't like it here.
Alright. So yeah, they had a pre-debut single on January 29th of this year called Going Crazy, which was in our quarter one.
Because I love that song.
Mm-hmm. And then Bang Adam released a pre-release song called Wayo that came out on June 5th. And then they debuted on August 8th.
Finally.
This
whole story that starts in 2012 ends in 2020.
8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
This poor boy. This poor
Speaking of boy.
I remember watching Going Crazy and being like, oh my gosh, is this like the new YG group? Because I didn't have the Mix 9 and Treasure like backstory at that time because I just did not care about YG, like, you know,
anything
competition, like anything, because why would I? And so I was like, oh my gosh, is this like just like the new Treasure like pre-debut thing? Because I heard of Treasure because everyone was talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, oh my gosh, these guys are like really good if this is like a pre-debut. Because
they went through like multiple
and then I'm like, wait,
shows.
Forever.
I'm like, well, they've kind of been like together for like 8 years or something like that. So, you know, it's like pre-debut, but is it? So I remember the moment I realized was like, wait, this man's been in a dungeon for 8 years. Oh, that's why.
That's why.
No,
he's
very talented.
He
is very talented. But it's also just funny because I remember just being like, wow, pre-debut, really? Huh? And then it was like, wait, never mind.
Yeah, I've enjoyed Treasure. I mean, I think I was the first one sort of on the Treasure bandwagon because I fell in love with Going Crazy.
Yeah,
and the rest of you were just very resistant.
I was like, this is
no, excuse me.
I don't trust YG's ability to do anything.
Lucas. You
I was on the Going Crazy train.
I was on the Going Crazy train. I kind of got you on there, and then sort of, I think Kayla and Dan were a little bit more hesitant to basically endorse anything YG related.
Yeah, I just was just YG, and it's a disaster because YG is a hot mess and also a horrible human being, so I did not trust anything that was going to come out of the company anymore.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like, this is probably the least YG group a YG has ever made, because it is...
Yep.
Even Icon, great. Right?
I mean, Icon is a very YG group. Icon is the definition of a YG group, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking debut then? Officially.
Yes. Official debut with the song Boy.
First impressions.
Boy.
Were not good.
Okay.
For me at least. What about you guys?
So listening to the debut song was like a real journey for me because I was listening to it and I was like, wow, this is like really good. It's so un-YG like, and like I couldn't believe how much I actually enjoyed it. And then that chorus hit with the, like, absolutely disgusting instrumental. And I immediately stopped listening to the song because I'm like, what happened? Like, this is a great song, and then it was just ruined immediately. But then, I've listened to it a lot since then. And have now, because of the K-pop Stockholm Syndrome, have come to love it. So now I'm, like, all on board with the song. And their one B-side, I do like a lot, and I initially also just liked a lot. So I was like, they're like 50-50, and then once I eventually got used to their debut, Boy, I was like, okay, now we're like fully on board here.
Yeah. I was actually on a Discord call with
Oh, we wanted your
Lucas?
Live reaction, yeah.
Yeah, y'all got my live reaction to watching Boy, and I had...
You just went, ugh! I just heard this, like, ugh!
Yeah, because that's when I was okay with... it was good, and I enjoyed everything, and then the chorus happens, and I just go, like,
what
The verse
happened?
and pre-chorus are insane.
Yeah.
They're
like,
amazing.
The verse and pre-chorus are really good. Like, very nice. And
I
you're
was
like,
excited.
oh,
I was like,
YG? YG, what are you doing?
Like,
and then
YG
chorus, and you're like,
making an
there it
amazing-
is.
There it is.
And then the post-third chorus,
They got
YG
that
verse, and you're like,
YG
yeah,
engine
there
chorus.
it
That's
is.
when it feels like a YG song, where it's like that collective...
The YG
like,
ending
final,
chorus
oh,
where we're all
oh,
yelling
and you're like,
and shit, yeah.
treasure. And you're like,
Like, yeah, this
Okay.
is YG. I mean, I don't think you can
YG.
completely you can't completely run from your roots, if you will. But
No.
again, I think I've also done the K-pop Stockholm Syndrome, where, like, I've been singing this song for the past 3 days in my head of just like, oh no, I like this song now. This is amazing now.
it is
It's very good.
the chorus. The first time you hear it, I think is a
It's
little
really
jarring. But then it gets kind of endearing as like a kind of like, ooh, that's just kind of different though. It hits kind of different, and then it gets stuck in your head, and you're like, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, and it's just...
Why do I love this now? Oh no. It's
I don't know. Small sample size again, but
small
with
sample
going
3.5
size,
songs.
But the thing with that is just like, it's YG.
It's YG, yeah.
Yeah.
All
It's
YG
enjoy those
groups
3
have like
songs.
barely
all
any
YG
songs.
That's
groups
gonna be
have a
another
very small
few-
sample size forever.
6 months.
Yeah.
Then again, this group, even YG has said this is a very un-YG group in the most insulting way possible, where he's insulting both this group and his old groups, where he has literally said, oh yeah, no, for this group we focused on visuals, and I'm like, that's insulting
That's
to
insulting
everyone.
to everybody. Like, why
Somehow
are you saying
you've just
this?
learned to insult every single one of your boy groups in one sentence. But
Good
sure.
job, buddy.
So I'm
job.
hoping maybe that's a turning point, that maybe YG has learned that boy groups cannot release one song a year and be
Well, especially since a lot of these other groups that we're talking about has already done 1 or 2.
Have a comeback or something, yeah.
I mean, Treasure at this point is like 3 weeks old.
The newest, so
They're not
Yeah,
even,
they're like-
they're
we're
5
not expecting
days
another
old.
song in the next
They're
week.
5
but
days
still.
old. By the time this comes out, it'll be like 3 weeks old. Like, they're babies. They're a baby group.
As baby as a person who's been in,
The YG dungeon
YG
for
since
8
he
years.
was
but,
9
like,
years old.
he was a baby when he went into the dungeon. It's fine.
I just think about him spending his entire childhood at YG, and I'm just like, this poor kid.
That makes me sad.
Like, it's so sad.
That makes me sad, especially when you think of all the circumstances, because again, we all know why they didn't debut last year. If everyone can think back to the problems YG was having in 2019, that's why Treasure didn't debut.
Yep.
But I really like it.
I like
Honestly,
them a
between
lot.
this and Going Crazy,
I'm here for it now.
they're batting 100 for me right now.
I'm not completely sold yet, but I also need a lot more to judge.
I like how
so.
un-YG they are, so...
Yeah. The un-YG-ness is what has me the most intrigued.
Right? It's
Because
so
it's the first time
interesting.
YG has built its little box that none of their groups have, like, broken out of, and I'm hoping that they finally bring something different to YG, and this is specifically YG's groups, not their soloists or not ACMO or anything like that. That's a
Right.
separate entity all on its own.
Yeah, they're black labels and whatever.
All of that
nonsense
is
they
its
have.
own thing.
Yeah. Well, I think I could close with just our overall ranking of these groups.
Yeah, all our
We've
individual
made a
rankings are a
collective
little
ranking.
bit different, but collectively this is what we settled upon.
Yes.
I will say that this is wrong.
Nope.
You're
You're wrong.
I will say
you are
that
in the
you-
minority here, because all 3 of us think that this is correct.
This is fine. We would change 1 or 2 things, but as a whole, we can mostly agree that our favorite debut of this year so far is Lucy.
Yes. What a surprise.
Lucy.
Get out of here. Get out.
Followed very closely by 2. because 2 is also very good. Which then brings us to Treasure, followed by DKB, MCND, Elast, H&D, and lastly Cravity.
So I think I speak for all of us when I say that we are going to be watching all these groups. We're excited for where they go, and that hopefully that they will just continue to make great music and find their own niches and fans, and we're excited. We want more from
2020
them.
has really
want
been
them all to
stacked
succeed.
with boy group debuts this year.
I mean, there was a bunch of boy group debuts that we could have talked about,
and
that
then we just couldn't, because it was like, this is gonna be a 3-hour podcast if we do that.
Exactly.
There's so many. These are the most notable we've
our the most notable, and then also our favorites. So
yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're trying to get the podcast on Spotify. That may or may not happen.
It's been in processing for like 2 months now. So
oof.
It's been an adventure.
Yeah. Right, so this has been our 2020 K-pop boy groups episode. I hope everyone enjoyed. And if you want to hear more of our episodes, obviously subscribe to us on YouTube, like the video. We're also on Apple Podcasts now. We're working on Spotify. We're also on Anchor if you listen through Anchor and other podcasting platforms. Yeah. I hope you like this. This has been Kayla and Sammy and Dan and Lucas, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.